welcome everyone. It's Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Klare. It's February 3rd, 2020. Show, as always, presented to you by the Marijuana Times. MarijuanaTimes.org is where you can find us today. We're talking about Michigan medical marijuana dispensary owner sentenced to a long time in federal prison. Also, Bernie Sanders making some promises about legal cannabis if he becomes president. And it's been a month since Illinois shops began selling recreational marijuana. What are the sales figures? We talk about all that coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News is brought to you by Natureside, nature-side.com. And their organic, all-natural pesticides grow safe and poison-free with Natureside. Don't use harmful chemicals or banned pesticides. Instead, use Natureside, nature-side.com, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. Thank you, Natureside, for all of your support. This first story by Julia Granowitz at MarijuanaTimes.org. Michigan medical marijuana dispensary owner sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. Michigan dispensary owner Danny Trevino of Lansing. He's reached sentencing for the charges he faced for the operation of his Hydro World shops in Lansing, Grand Rapids, Jackson, Flint, and Mount Pleasant. The judge gave him a total of 15 years and 8 months in federal prison. States are changing marijuana laws across the country. Certainly that's true, but federal law has not changed, U.S. District Judge Paul Maloney said. Trevino is convicted of 10 felony charges, including conspiracy to manufacture, distribute, and possess marijuana and maintain a drug-involved premises. Throughout the trial, he was not allowed to use the Michigan state marijuana laws as a defense against federal charges, though he maintains that he was operating within state law. He was arrested in 2014 for delivery or manufacturing of marijuana and maintaining a drug house in Grand Rapids. The charges were dropped. Later, he fought the forfeiture of his funds seized by the police. He won that battle, and his money was returned by the state. His businesses saw 16 raids between 2010 and 2016. He was able to provide the state with both store records and tax records, so the state declined to prosecute him. So the feds stepped in. Assistant U.S. Attorney Daniel McGraw says that Trevino knew he was acting illegally under federal law, and really that's all that matters because, of course, federal law does stipulate that marijuana is illegal in all its forms. So they decided, I don't know, to make an example of this man. It's a rare thing for the feds to step in that heavily, but it is done. It has been done, and it'll probably continue to be done. And the penalties are crazy. If he's legal under state law, to give him 15 years for something like that is nuts. I mean, there's no other way to put it. This next story, Forbes.com. Bernie Sanders pledges legal marijuana in all 50 states on day one as president. Bernie Sanders is pledging to immediately legalize in all 50 states if he's elected to the White House. We will end the destructive war on drugs, the 2020 Democratic presidential candidate said at a rally in Cedar Rapids. On my first day in office, through executive order, we will legalize marijuana in every state in this country. Sanders emphasized it would be important for his administration to end cannabis prohibition in a way that helps communities harmed by the drug war's enforcement. We'll move forward to expunge the records of those arrested for possession of marijuana, he said. We'll make certain the legalized marijuana industry is not controlled by a handful of corporations, but that those people, the African American community, the Latino community, the Native American community, those people who have suffered the most will get help in order to make money through a legalized marijuana industry. With a lot of Bernie Sanders' stuff, the sentiment is good, but the practical realities are a little different. He's not even taking marijuana off the controlled substances list, which is most agree is in his purview if he was president. It's going to take some time. It has to go through some governmental channels, and a lot of these people aren't going to be in place on day one of his administration for him to do these sorts of things. And I doubt Trump's people, if they're still there, will help him along with that. In any case, there was something. What happened to my volume? Did something happen to my volume? I feel like I lost it. Has that been the volume the whole time? That's horrible. That can't be true. That can't be right. Hold on. Is that better? That's a little better. Why am I not hearing anything? Turn that up a little bit. I hope my volume was like that the whole time. I don't remember if it was now or not. Now I'm freaking myself out whether or not the volume went down some point during the show or sucked the entire show. Now I'm going to go back and listen to it. Anyway, if you had to turn it up in the beginning, now you had to turn it down because I'm loud and obnoxious, I apologize. I thought it sounded good in the beginning. And then I thought something crackled and got lost. I don't know. It seems better now. So again, if I screwed it up, my apologies. I'm doing the best I can. Not the best in all of this. Anyway, it's not something that Bernie Sanders is going to be doing. He's not going to be able, especially, to make marijuana legal in all 50 states. He can end federal prohibition, and then states will decide, because they have to end their prohibitions as well if they still have prohibition in place, for it to be legal in that state. But the sentiment is good. Getting marijuana off the Controlled Substances Act, if it's not the first day, if it's, it takes a couple months for the apparati to get together, whatever needs to happen, to pull those levers and punch those buttons, and however that crap works, suffice it to say, it'll be very difficult. It won't just be him signing a piece of paper. You got to get the other agencies involved, and that's if he becomes president. That's still a big if. The Iowa caucuses are happening, I think, right now as we speak, and we don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. This last story from Chicago Tribune.com. Customers bought nearly $40 million in recreational marijuana during the first month of sales in Illinois. That's right, $39.2 million customers spent on recreational marijuana during the first month of legal weed sales in Illinois, and about a quarter of that came from out-of-state residents. Sales to Illinois residents totaled about $30.6 million, and out-of-state residents spent a little over $8.5 million. There's been shortages, obviously, we've talked about a lot, but people still come, and they're still trying. There's still a huge demand. It proves something I've said many times, and I'm not, I didn't invent this. I'm not spilling any state secrets. Marijuana is popular. It's a popular product. People want it. They want to buy it. And as long as there are places to buy it and people are selling it, then things are going to go well. Even with the limited number of sales and places to buy marijuana in Illinois so far, still robust sales with shortages, with long lines, with high prices. People want it. They want marijuana. I'm sorry. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. A few things are certain in this life, and one of them is that people like marijuana. I can think of a few things more certain. In any case, big things going on in Illinois. Obviously, they're hoping that supply will someday come up to meet demand, as a lot of states are hoping. California's hoping that. Massachusetts, a lot of places. Just need more supply of marijuana. It'll solve a lot of problems. And I'm not being facetious or trying to make some sort of pun. Literally, more marijuana would solve a lot of problems. It's just, again, if you don't like that, well, I don't want to tell you about that either. I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to spit truth at you, metaphorically, through a microphone. I'm not really spitting. Although I might spit a little bit. I don't know. I don't pay attention. Obviously, because I didn't know the first 5 minutes of the show whether or not my mic was working. The paying attention thing is not my wheelhouse. Anyway, thanks everybody for checking out the show. We're here 5 days a week. Whatever volume and graphic snafus come with it. Cannabis news, Marijuana Times, marijuanatimes.org, the Marijuana Times on YouTube. Thank you to NatureSide, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening today. And we'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.